Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory as Angelino, whatever your name is apparently on the verge of signing for Roma. Di Marzio reported this morning. He basically said how there's an agreement between us and him, and that the only step missing was an agreement between us and Leipzig. But this deal, according to Di Marzio, is about to be closed, and Angelino could be a last-minute reinforcement for Roma's transfer window. I also want to speak about Baldanzi, another massive objective that Di Marzio has reported in these last couple of hours. And I also want to give my reaction because Roma has played. The friendly game against Al Shabab ended a few hours ago, 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago. We won 2-1 against Al Shabab. Lukaku scored. João Costa scored. So I am going to give a reaction on that. I didn't really want to go live for a specific match reaction. Not that it was, one of the best football games that I've ever seen. But surely there will be space and time for a little reaction in this live stream. I'm very curious to see your thoughts and opinions about that friendly game. So if you've got any questions, any opinions about that friendly game, do pop them in the live chat because I want to see what you think and your thoughts about it. But I do want to speak about transfer news because transfer news, I've said this yesterday. We were speaking about a potential Icone Belotti swap deal. Apparently, again, according to Di Marzio, that swap deal has collapsed. So it won't happen. Icone won't happen. And Belotti will not go to Fiorentina. But Roma haven't kind of fallen asleep in the transfer window because they are working on buying De Rossi, another left back who can also play as a left winger. His name is Angelino, used to play for Man City, used to play for Leipzig, and recently has played for Galatasaray. And yeah, as I said at the start, this deal is apparently on the verge of happening, according to Di Marzio. I have to be very honest with you. I like him as a player. Now, it's not typical of me to be 100% enthusiastic about a player we sign under all of these limitations of FFP, settlement agreement, because the reality is that with all of these limitations and with these rules that we have to follow, it's impossible for us to get the perfect player. So there never really is one player that I'm 100% convinced about. But he is definitely better than other names that I've read. I've seen a lot of games of Angelino. I'm not sure how to call him, if it's Angelino. Problem with calling him Angelino is that, I don't know, resembles me on an angel. But yeah, I've watched a few games in recent years, and you look at what Roman needs in that position right now, and he's exactly what we need. Somebody who is valid at threatening the offensive section, and most importantly, somebody who's able to cross the ball. And I've seen a lot of games and he can do that. Again, he's that fullback, just like the majority of our fullbacks, which loves attacking and isn't really good at defending. But that's kind of what the fullback is nowadays. Nowadays it's impossible to find a fullback who is as good as attacking as he is at defending. Nowadays, fullbacks don't really care about defending. There are a lot of them. Even big fullbacks nowadays, they don't care about defending because the fullback, yes, needs to defend and is part of the defense. But what a fullback brings to a football game, especially in 2024, it's definitely more prone to the attack. And I don't mind him as a player at all. I look at the operation again. It would be a loan. We're Loan FC. It's not even a joke anymore. We are Loan FC. We are AS Loan Roma. We only loan players. That is unfortunately an obstacle that this settlement agreement is imposing on us. So there's nothing we can do about it. But apparently Roma is trying to convince Leipzig to open up for a loan, maybe including an obligation to buy at the end of the season. But it is very important to note down here that Roma have accelerated to try and get this deal done last evening. Because yesterday afternoon, Angelino was one step away from joining Torino. So yesterday afternoon, Angelino, I keep on switching his name, whatever you like best, just let me know. He was on the verge of signing for Torino. And then during last night, so over the course of the evening, Roma apparently accelerated. And this morning, Di Marzio reported that Roma are on the verge of signing him. That they have found an agreement with him and that they are working with to find an agreement with Leipzig. But there's also something else that Di Marzio reported, which is that Angelino has accepted us and is prioritizing us over other clubs. I know Torino are interested in him in the Serie A. And there's another team that is interested. I'm not sure if it's Atalanta, maybe it's not Atalanta. And also Olympique Marseille from France are interested in him. But Angelino has given his word to Roma and is prioritizing a Roma move. I think when you look at him, you ask yourself, would he be a starter in our team? And I hate to say it, but I just cannot see how he's not a starter in our team. I think he would rock it as a starter in our team. I think he is better than Spinazzola. And nowadays, we've seen it yet again in this friendly game. De Rossi doesn't consider Zalewski as a left back. So Zalewski, let's forget Zalewski as a left back. Let's forget that Mourinho philosophy of putting Zalewski at the back because it's not happening anymore. So Zalewski isn't considered a left back anymore. Again, ask yourself this question. Can he really do a worse job than Spinazzola, Karsdorp, Celik and Christensen? He can. But how bad could you be to do a worse job than them? Which effectively is not being able to cross one single ball. At the end of the day, yes, he's a player who's been inconsistent in these past years. Because realistically speaking, at Galatasaray, he's never ever played. And at Leipzig, he was benched at the end of his Leipzig season. The last real good season that I remember seeing Angelino play was the season where Leipzig beat Man United in the Champions League. That was the last real season that I've seen him play. And in that season, he looked unstoppable. After that, he has had a decline. And we have to be honest here. You know, both at Leipzig and at Galatasaray, he's not getting many minutes. But again, you got to look at the opportunities. This is, again, without a doubt, is an opportunistic move. Is this a long-term move? No, it's not. But this is a move of trying to give the best team possible to De Rossi to try and make his achievements come at the end of the season. It's going to be complicated because it doesn't take Angelino for us to qualify in the top four. But it's a move from the ownership to kind of, tell De Rossi, right, I'm doing this last minute effort for you to give the players. Again, I know that you're not the responsible one to bring Champions League because you came in, mid-January. The season is really in the middle of its way. But, I'm going to try and give you the best team that I can possibly give you for you to prepare and possibly achieve our objectives. That's the key. So that's Angelino. I'm expecting a green light from Fabrizio Romano, from Gianluca Di Marzio himself. If not this evening, then tomorrow. I will be very surprised if this deal collapses. In fact, if this deal collapses, I will look like an absolute idiot going live and speaking about this today. But I'm confident. I think it'll happen. I think when Di Marzio says something, you know that it's gonna happen. I just think you need a little bit more time to maybe find an agreement with Leipzig, and once you find an agreement with Leipzig, which I think will be found because they're not using him, so even if they loan him out, it's not going to be a problem for them. Then I think will happen. And I think by tomorrow, after tomorrow at the max, we could get the green light for Angelino. Another very, very, very big transfer update here. I don't want to get expectations high at all because I've been saying this for 2 years now. This would be a dream of mine. But Tommaso Baldanzi, Di Marzio has said that Roma have opened talks with Empoli and Baldanzi's agents to try and give De Rossi Baldanzi as a last-minute surprise in this transfer window. All I can say here is, if Thiago Pinto manages to pull Angelino and Baldanzi in the next 7 days of this transfer window, wherever you're going to go next, I'm going to build you a statue. No matter where you're gonna go, Thiago, you'll be remembered in a great way. If he manages to pull Baldanzi, I'd be very surprised. I'd be very surprised because, again, I'm not setting expectations high at all because I don't think it's going to happen. Empoli are asking 15 million, around 13 million to 15 million to sell him. Roma obviously don't have the means to buy that at time of speaking. So once again, we're going to Empoli and trying to convince them to loan Baldanzi to us. It's becoming ridiculous. I mean, Roma is now going to Empoli to ask them to loan a player to us. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible what this settlement agreement is doing to us. It's incredible what this FFP situation is doing to the morale of Roma fans. I would never in a million years even have written a book about Roma going to Empoli and pleading them to loan us one of their players. I mean, they're 20th in the league. What are they? Not 20th. They're in the relegation zone. Empoli don't even have $2 to rebuild their own, to kind of add different walls to their own stadium. This FFP situation is driving us crazy. But apparently what Di Marzio is saying is, if Roma manages to sell, even on loan, one of their players in these last days of the transfer window, then they could try to sign Baldanzi in these last hours, these last days. And apparently there have already been positive talks with his agents. Baldanzi he's got very similar characteristics to Dybala. He's young. He's just what we need to kind of start the new project. Foundations, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. But again, have you seen how the transfer objectives have changed here? 2 weeks ago, before Jose got sacked, transfer objectives were centre-back and full-back. Nowadays, with De Rossi, it's full-back and attackers. Apparently today there was also a rumor of Bernardeschi. The formation is going to change, and a lot of these players are going to suit this new formation. Again, Baldanzi is more difficult. It's not a close deal. It's going to take time if we do want to make it happen. But let's focus on Angelino right now, because adding more left backs and just adding more players in general to our team is... and also a good thing about Angelino is that he's never injured. He's another one of those players who's barely ever been stopped by injuries. He's been stopped because of poor games and poor conditions. Which is different, because you can always rejuvenate a player in a new team. When a player is injury prone, then no matter where he goes, he's going to feel the injuries and he's going to be stopped by them. So that's, I think, a positive. But that's transfer news. I mean, what do we think? Zvilor deserves to be your starter, and I'm happy DDR moved Zali forward. He has to get back his attacking instinct, and I'm willing to give him time. Costa seems promising. Love your accent. I'm an Italian-American guy from Rome, and I love your videos. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate the support. João Costa, the future Ronaldo, say Angelino, Angelino, Angel Di Maria. Simo, did you lose subs after Jose got sacked? Oh yeah, 100%. I lost quite a few, but I was expecting it. A lot of Roma fans in these past seasons were Mourinho fans. You could tell. You could tell from the interactions in the live chat. You could tell from the... I mean, you just... To prove that Roma fans in these last 2 years were primarily Mourinho fans coming from foreign countries, you just had to open Twitter any day of the Mourinho era and read the amount of shit that those Mourinistas wrote. So yeah, it's not a surprise. I was 100% expecting it. In fact, I'm surprised that... I'm surprised that... I was expecting more Mourinistas to leave Roma communities and Roma, community pages. Baldanzi has been injured 3 times this season. He's just like Dybala. Yeah, problem with Baldanzi, again, he's not playing much at Empoli, but he's that signing that if you don't do now, then you're gonna regret. It's Fratesi 2.0. It's Fratesi all over again. You either do it now, or Empoli are going to get relegated. So you either do it now, or this summer he leaves for half the price because Empoli need to sell, and Inter or Milan get in and buy him. And then you're going to regret it. So it's, again, learn from our mistakes. We've seen it happen with Frattesi, we've seen it happen with so many players. Let's avoid doing this. Let's secure him. But again, you need the money, and this settlement agreement is winding us up. In terms of the game, I was watching the game, very low quality game. I mean, Roma didn't care. I don't blame them at all. This was the most useless friendly game ever. It was all about business. It was all about sponsors. It was all about maybe a potential Saudi move in the future. I don't know. Um, but yeah, all of this friendly game, the positives of this friendly game were all behind the scenes. It was all because playing this friendly game and quite a lot of money entered their bank account. In terms of the practice of this friendly game, absolutely useless. Absolutely useless. The players, it's not like they looked drained, but the players looked like they were playing a charity game. The players look, effectively it is, friendly game, charity games, at the end of the day it's the same. But they just were playing as if they were like, why the hell am I in Saudi Arabia right now when I've got Salernitana on Monday? Yeah, it was a weird friendly game. Ain't gonna. That referee was amateur level refereeing. Some of the fouls that the referee blew wouldn't even get blown in my school tournament. But we won again. It's good. The good things about this friendly game, especially with a new manager, experiment new tactics, without a doubt. Experiment new formations, give time to youth players. A lot of them got subbed in today. In fact, a lot of them started today. One of them bagged the goal, played a great game. João Costa scored a goal. Pizzilli played, started from the very first minutes, played a good 70 minutes. Then he got subbed off, and there were the cameras showing De Rossi, showing his movements. Zvelar started, then Boer, our third goalkeeper, got subbed in. Mannini got subbed in. Golic, the defender, started. It's good because these young players need confidence. These young players need. You gotta give them this confidence boost. It's a friendly game against Al Shabaab. Nobody gives a damn. But these minor players, academy players, will treat these games as an opportunity for them to, make themselves loud, show the world who they are. In terms of João Costa, he scored a goal. Again, fair play to him. Zaleski, great assist. Let's give credit when we gotta give credit. Zaleski put a successful cross in. Zaleski is definitely changing style because he's playing way more advanced, which is beneficial to him because he's way better at doing it. But still, Zaleski needs to. You can tell that he isn't 100%. He hasn't 100% moved his mindset from a left back to a winger because he still looks wobbly. Again, Zaleski needs confidence. Zaleski has been killed by, first of all, criticisms of fans. Zaleski has been killed by the way Mourinho used to play him. Zaleski as a left back never made sense, and he knew it himself. Zaleski in the academy was never a left back. He got converted into a left back just because he played a great game, a great 30 minutes against Bodo Glimt, where he looked like prime Marcelo. Yeah, he was never a left back, so he was always an advanced winger, and you can tell that that's his position. He looks more confident, but he still needs to grab a lot of confidence back. Dybala, Mancini, and Huijsen stayed in Rome, which was good. Apparently, this thing that Roma had to start their full squad wasn't a valid reason because we definitely didn't start with their biggest squad. Lukaku again scored a goal. He did miss a few chances. He did bottle a few. I think another big player. Another player who, in my opinion, again didn't care a damn about it, but should have cared a bit more about this friendly game. Belotti. Because Belotti isn't scoring goals. And for a striker, you want to utilize these friendly games to get your consistency back going. And the fact that Belotti didn't even score in, 60 minutes? 60 minutes against Al Shabaab. I'm not criticizing him. It doesn't mean that if he starts against a weak side, he has to score. But still, Belotti isn't scoring against this team either. So I would have. It's not going to happen. Apparently, it has collapsed as an option. But I would have tried the Icone Belotti swap deal. But apparently, it's not happening. So we're going to keep him. We're going to give confidence to Belotti. Maybe De Rossi will give him a bit more time, and yeah, maybe he will start a few more games. Lukaku with the winner again. By the way, great goal from Carrasco. That free kick was sensational. Very good free kick. And yeah, friendly game. Now we're back in Rome tomorrow. It's not an easy journey. It's 6 flights going and 6 flights. 6-hour flight going and 6-hour flight return. So that's a total of 12 hours. On Monday we have a very good game. I would have rather not played this game, but look, it's a good way to start learning, implementing, playing as a whole with new formations, new tactics coming from De Rossi. So yeah, look, I'm going to catch you tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have the green light for Angelino, and hopefully, maybe, dreams come true. We could have some very important news on Baldanzi, even though I think it's a very, very, very complicated deal. I think Baldanzi would help us with creativity when Dybala's not playing. I fully agree. João Costa is better than Icone. Says Kilma. We can see the Totti and Nakata thingy with Dybala and Baldanzi. The owners had to pay money because Dybala didn't play. Apparently that's fake. I read that to you this morning, but apparently it's fake. If we could just improve on our general director, because we would have Fratesi and Scamacca playing the Roma 11 right now if we just didn't sell them. Yeah. Look, I'll catch you tomorrow. Friendly game, 1. Successful transfer news, tick. If you enjoyed it today, please do hit a like. I always ask this, but yeah, it literally, I always say this, but it takes 2 seconds and it's free of cost. And it's a good reason to support this community. And as a whole, Roma family, if you don't speak Italian, this is the perfect place to be. So yeah, if you like this video, like the channel, hit the like again, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share the link of the channel with your families and friends. Good night, love you all, and talk to you soon. See you all out.